All right, Charlotte, have you any sympathy for them?
I mean, you've got to a bit, haven't you, given the history behind this. Of course, Harry's mother died in such a car chase, and I can sort of imagine if I was him, you'd think, it's happening to me, and even if it wasn't that bad, your brain would start to work itself up. Probably not to the extent that you'd then put out a press statement saying that something like this had happened. You'd hope that some publicist would get in the way and say, hang on, let's talk through, maybe let's put this a little bit further down. But in the moment, absolutely, I think I have sympathy with him.
But Kevin, it's tricky, isn't it? Because as Tara said, they've been spectacularly thirsty for media attention. They've done the Netflix series with every spit and cough of their private lives. They've done the book, obviously, Harry, 420-odd pages about his private life. They've sold their private lives to the highest bidders now for the last 2-3 years. There will be a lot of people, I've seen it all over social media today, pretty cynical, saying, look, if you want to play that game, if you want to work the media that hard for personal gain, for money, for profile, then this comes with the territory.
Yeah, it's very different to people who are very famous but shun publicity. They don't keep going to awards dinners. They don't keep searching for the limelight. They want their privacy. It's very hard to imagine this happening in London, and I'm not aware of it ever happening.
Well, it wouldn't.
When they lived here.
Look, it used to go on with Diana, and in fun, if I checked an interview I did with Diana when I was at the Mirror, and it was just before she died, actually, a few months before she died, but I'd had lunch with her, and she told me how the paparazzi, there were certain rogue paparazzi, they weren't attached to newspapers, but they would deliberately upset her by being abusive. And when she reacted emotionally, they'd get the footage they wanted, and they would sell that as Diana's tears over marriage or whatever. And she said, please understand that's what they're doing. And I said, OK, we're not going to use those pictures anymore. And we announced it in the Mirror, actually, at the time. And she thanked me when I did this interview for what we had tried to do. Now, unfortunately, you can't control the world's paparazzi. Many of them are good, hard-working, decent people. I've worked with a lot of them over the years. And some are complete rogues. So we don't really know yet. I think, but, it may be last night was a pretty chastening experience.
Yes.
The question then becomes, how much of that do you bring on yourself?
Yeah, and, I agree with the sympathy for him, the way his mother died, and he said every time he sees a flash or hears the click of a camera, he goes back, and he's clearly a troubled young man. And you could say, yep, they've made themselves celebs, so you're going to get attention. They want to conceal where and who they're staying with.
Yeah.
Why do they want to do that? But I also understand why some of the people would want to know where and who they are staying with. But that wouldn't excuse
if you stay in a major hotel in New York, you've
Yeah.
got complete privacy.
Yeah.
We had the Met Gala recently, we're all at the Carlisle, no one got inside, it's completely walled off.